Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be building a voice notepad kind of application using the native file system API and the web speech API. So there are four options you can see here on your screen, four buttons. First is the start recording. So if I click this button and now my microphone is on, so I am speaking right now. So hello friends, my name is Gautam. So if I stop here, so you will see that all this text is pre-written here. So whatever I spoke here, you can see that once again. And now you can see that. So this red light signifies that my microphone is on here. So this tab is using your camera or microphone. So we are using the web speech API for taking the input from the microphone. And now if I need to save this file to my local system, I can click this button, save to file, and then a pop-up window will appear. And here I can select the path here. So I can give a file name, let's suppose hello 2, and this will save this as a txt file. And now if I check here, so this is hello2.txt, and you will see that all this text is saved here. So for this we are using the native file system API, guys. So this API is very new, so it is there inside beta version. So I will be showing you how to set up this API. And apart from that, there are two more options. We can even load files from our system here. Let's suppose I load this file here, uh, but first of all let me just clear out the text here. So and then let me just refresh the application, and here I select the second option. So this will load the file from my file system. So now basically this will ask me this inside the alert box that it will be able to edit this file until you close all tabs for this site. So if I click save changes, so now it will load the contents of the site here, of this file. And now I can just click on the start recording button. So I am making some changes to this file now. You will see that if I stop, these changes will be saved. So after making these changes, guys, we can click on the modify changes button and you will see that file changes were saved. And if I click OK, if I open the file once again, this is the file hello2, and now you will see that you can see that the file was edited and it has got all this text here. So in this way you can also write to files, read from the files using the JavaScript language. This was not possible before, as you know that JavaScript is a client-side scripting language, and for security reasons these local operations are not supported if you write ordinary JavaScript. But due to this native file system API, these operations are possible. And this last option is very much simple. If you want to clear out the context, you can just put this button here, just hit this button and it will clear out the contents. And for building this, guys, we are using the native file system API. So if you go to Google here, native file system API, and now you will be redirected to this blog here. These two websites are very much important. I use this documentation. So these two websites are very much helpful. So read about it more if you want to build some more complicated applications. For all the source code of this application, I have given a link in the video description. Go to that link and you will be redirected to my blog here. All the source code with the step-by-step instruction is given to you, or you can just copy paste the code here. This is a HTML file and there is a JavaScript file also. This is a JavaScript file, and I will be telling you how to build this step by step in this video. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to enable this native file system API inside our Chrome browser. So for that we need to go to Chrome and then put a //flags. So just open this inside your Chrome browser. I am telling you specifically for Chrome here. I don't know about Firefox. So if you are using Chrome here, you need to go to this address chrome_//flags. So here you need to search for the API which is native file system API. So you will find this result, native file system API. As I already told you, it's a experimental API. It is not officially released. It is in beta version, so you need to enable this inside your this Google Chrome. By default it will be set to default here. Now you need to click on the enabled option, and then you need to relaunch your uh, Chrome browser in order to for the changes to take place. So I have already enabled it. So after this you need to go to your favorite text editor and make your index.html file, and also a script.js file. So now inside the index.html I will write a simple bootstrap template. So here I can change the title. Let's suppose voice notepad, in JavaScript. Just wait guys. In JavaScript. So after having the title guys, we will be, as I am including the Bootstrap CSS and the jQuery CSS, and inside this body we will have the container class of Bootstrap. Put a break tag after this, and we will be having a heading which will be having the class of text enter. So this will be voice notepad. Again you will have a break tag, and after that we will be having a simple text area element. But before that I need to wrap this inside the form group class of Bootstrap. So inside the form group class we will have a text area element which will have a class of form control, which is a Bootstrap class, and you will be giving a ID to it of text area, and that's it. So if I just refresh the application, you will see a text area will be there alongside with the heading. Now we just want 4 options which will be specifically start recording. So this will be simply div form group. So inside this we will have the first button which will be for the start recording. So this will be a primary button. This will take the full space by button block, and this will be simply start recording. If I refresh it now, you will see a button start recording. So I can give it a ID, bind a ID so that we can target in JavaScript. Let's suppose start, and after this we will have another button. This time this will be of green color. This will have a text of load file. So basically you can load any sort of file from your local system. I will give an ID of load here. If I refresh, you will see the second button, load file. The third button, uh, sorry, this needs to be there inside this. This needs to be there inside this form group. So I forgot this. So just make this change. So what can I do here is that I can copy 2 more times this code here, 2 more times, copy it. The third one will be for save as. So this will be save file, and this will be equal to, let's suppose, warning, and the last one will be for the clear text. So basically if you want to clear out the text, let me just paste it. So this will be clear. Clear text, that's it. So if I refresh it now guys, you will see these are the 4 buttons. So I need to change this color to danger. So this will have the red color. So you can see that the interface is complete of the application. Let me just format the document. So the HTML code is complete. Now we just need to write our JavaScript file. Let me just include this really quickly. Script source, script.js, that's it. So now inside the script.js file, first of all, we need to get the reference to the speech recognition API, which is web speech API. So we will declare a variable which will be speech recognition, speech recognition. So this will be equal to window.webkit uh, WebKit speech recognition. This is the reference here. You can see that after getting this reference, we can just declare another variable which is var recognition. So this will be equal to the new constructor, as this is a class here. So after this, we can initialize it a new constructor, and then we can declare another variable which will save handle. So just declare this variable, and after this we will declare a instructions. So we will get the reference to instructions element. So just declare inside index.html right here above your uh, after this break tag we have a span. Just give it an ID of instructions. That's it. So we are just getting the reference here. So basically here we will be populating the results of when the mic is off or on. So after this, guys, we just also declare one other variable of content. So this will be equal to nothing. So just put a capital C for that. So this will hold all the text which are populated inside the text area. And also we need to set a property recognition dot continuous to true. So basically this will always monitor the microphone for us. And now simply what we want is that when we click the start button, we need to start the microphone. So when we click the start button like this is a jQuery selector here. So inside this, guys, what we want is that we want to start our microphone. So here we will simply call recognition dot start. So basically it will start the microphone, but our job is not complete. We need to have a simple constructor or event recognition dot on result. So when the recognition is complete, this will automatically fire for us. This will hold the event, and inside this what we want is that we need to, this is a standard code of web speech API. So if you search for the documentation, you will get this code. Event dot result index. After getting the result index, we need to get the transcript. Transcript will be equal to event dot result results. This is an array, and inside this we need to pass the current 0 dot, sorry, this needs to come outside this, 0 dot transcript, like this. And now what we want is that we need to we need to concatenate to whatever is the content here, transcript. That's it. So this is a plus is equal to. So basically this operator generally means that we are appending to this variable. So whatever is previously there, it is not deleted, it is just got appended here. So after this we will append it to also the text area as well. So we will target it by the ID which we have given, and val will be equal to content. That's it. And now basically we can test the microphone functionality. If I refresh it, click start recording, you will see this red area signifies that I have successfully enabled the microphone. So now you can see that, guys, all this text is printed out inside this text area. So this is working properly. And what we want is, guys, we need to change the text from start recording to stop recording. So here what we can do here is that inside this we can use a method which will be this dot html to stop recording. So what it will do here is that if I click the start recording, so it will change this text to stop recording. So now it has got a nice user experience. So after doing this, we also need to make the instructions as well. So we can target these instructions and we can append something to it that is, let's suppose voice recognition is on. So if I refresh once again, if I click start recording, so you will see this span tag is appearing, voice recognition is on. So that's cool effect. Now first of all, when we click the start button, we need to check that if the HTML, that is if the text, if the label of the button is equal to, so this is a method here, we need to check first of all if it is equal to uh, stop recording. So in that case, so we can just make it inside the else block. So else block, we can just write this. So if the label is equal to stop recording when we click for the second time, in that case we need to change the label back to the, we can change this to like this, to start recording. So back and forth will be there. So simple toggle here. So basically we will check start recording, again we click for the next time, we can, it again changes to start recording. So also here when we click for the second time, we also need to stop the recognition also. So we also need to first of all hide this instructions as well. So instructions, and this is equal to HTML to nothing. So now it will also hide the instruction when we click the second time. And also we need to stop the recognition process. So for stopping is there is a stop method, that's it. If I click start here, you can see that voice recognition is on. If I click for the second time, and now you can see that the voice recognition stops. So this is the effect that I wanted to have. So that's it guys. And also after this step, we also need to do one more thing, which is inside this if condition we need to check if the previous data is there inside this content variable. So if content.length, so basically if the content has some data, then it will return true. In that case we need to append like this, plus is equal to nothing, that's it. We need to append something to it if some data is already present. So we are using this plus is equal to, that's it. So this line will do here. Let me just show you what this line will do for us. Let's suppose we click for the start recording and we spoke something here. So this is the first time that I click this button. You can see that this is the data which is there. Now if I click the second time the start recording, this data will not be deleted. Instead the data will be appended. Let's suppose I click for the second time. We are clicking that button for the second time, and now you can see that this data now it is appended here. So this is the functionality that I was talking about. So this is the importance of this line here that we have written here. So now we have successfully implemented the web speech API. Our microphone is working. Now what we want is that we need to take care of the rest, three more buttons here, which is load file, save file, and clear text. And let me now take care of the second button, which is the load button, or I can take care of the third button, which is save file, which will actually save a file onto our local file system. So this will be pretty simple. So we have given an ID to it of save as. So save as, when we click this button here, this callback function will execute. So inside this function guys, what we need to do is that we need to call a function which will be save text, and save text, and inside this we will pass the content which is there. Since content is a global variable, I have declared right here at the top here. So it will be available to all the functions that we declare here. And now we simply need to make this function, which is save text. This will expect the content here, pass to it. And now inside this function, guys, we need to make the options here. OPTS stands for. So this is a object here. So inside this options, this takes an property type. So type will be equal to save file. The second property it takes is the extension and the mem type. So this is the array. So it has the first object is the description. So description will be equal to, you can give any description of your choice, but I will be giving as a text file. The second property it takes inside the object is the extension. So here you can provide any extension, image extension as well. So, but I will be taking a very simple example, txt, for standing for text file. The third property is mem types. So this is there in the inside the native file system API. You can check out the documentation. It is pretty simple. Here we will provide the mem type, which is text slash plain. So after providing these options, we need to now call the native file system API to actually save the file for us. For that, we need to first of all get the handle to our local file system. We will use the await keyword here. So now we need to make this function as async, because await keyword only works inside async function. So inside this, guys, what we need to do is that we need to use a simple method, which is window dot choose file system entries. Choose file system entries. So this is a simple method which will allow us to select the file from a pop-up window. Here we need to pass the options. Now after getting this handle, the process is pretty simple. We need to again declare a writable variable. Inside this we will pass this handle dot, and this contains a method which will be create writable. After getting this reference, we can declare another line of code, writable dot write, and after this we can pass the content which is passed to the function, which will actually insert the content and then save the file for us. In the last step, we need to close this reference, writable dot close. That's it. So after executing this line of code, the file will be automatically saved onto your local file system. If I refresh it now if I type something here, click on save file option, you will see this window will automatically appear here, and here it will ask for the location where you want to save the file. Let's suppose I give the file name as hello3. Click on the save option, and now if I look here, the path here, if I go to the documents light shot, so if I open this file, you will see I think this, it is not passed here. Let me just see. The content is not saved here. Let me just see here why it is not saved. Oh, sorry, we need to, this is a voice notepad, so we need to speak. So hello, this is a file we are saving here, and now we need to save this. So if I again save this here, I will take this file name, save here, and again if I look here, and now you will see that this will have this text here. So I was just typing here, manually typing, since it was a voice notepad, so you need to speak instead of writing. So we are successfully writing the file to our local file system using JavaScript, using this native file system API. Now basically in the next step, we will load a file. For loading a file, we have given this button, which is load file. This is our second button. We have given an ID of load. So after this, we will target this by the ID which we have given, which is load. When we click this button, so inside this load function, again we just need to first of all change this text which is written here. That is, we will make use of the HTML method and we will change this to modify changes. So when we click this button, this will change to modify changes. And also we will call a method which will actually load a file for us, which is load file. Now we will make this method function load file. So here I can just make a if condition. So we can just check for the very first. We can check here if its text is equal to modify changes like this. If so, we are just checking here. We are doing the same thing that we have done before. So we can just move this code inside the else block. So we are clicking this button for the second time. We are just checking that if this text is modify changes, then we need to call a different method which will be save file. So in that case we need to click call this method which will actually save the changes. When we click for the very first time, we will load the file. When we click the second button, we will save the changes. So let me just also make this method function save file. So in the first method, which is load file, guys, what we need to do is that we need to, let me just show you. Inside the load file method, we need to get a handle which we have declared here, which is save handle. So this is a global variable I have declared at the very top here. You can see that save handle. So this is accessible here. So first of all, we need to get a save handle for our loading process. So this will again be we will use await keyword here. So I need to write here async keyword in both of the functions. So I can just change also this to async. And now we will again make a separate function for getting a file handle. This is get new file handle, like this. So this will again a async function get new file handle. So inside this, guys, the process will be pretty simple. We will make a new variable const handle. So again await. This will again have window dot choose file system entries. So this is the same method that we used in the last step also. So after using this, we need to just return the handle like this, return handle. So basically this will have the handle reference stored inside this variable. After getting the handle here, guys, the process becomes easy. We need to have a if block, and inside this if block we will have to make another variable method which will be verify permission, and inside this we need to pass the handle which is save handle and the second option to true. So here true signifies that we need to write to a file. So if it returns true here, we will execute the if section code. If it returns false, then we will not execute. So we need to make this function first of all, which will be async verify permission. First of all, it will have the handle, and the second parameter, which will be, let me just see, write. Oh, sorry, we are missing the function here. So inside this function, guys, there will be a boilerplate code which is there inside native file system API. So every time when you load the file from your local file system, you need to grant some permissions to your browser, which will automatically come inside this function. So here we will have a empty array which will be const options. This will be empty array. After this we will have a if condition. If write is, if we pass this value to be true, in that case we will append a option to it which will be writable to true. So this is very important. Sorry, this spelling is wrong here. This needs to be writable. So after this, guys, we need to check. So for checking the code, I will just copy paste it. This is pretty simple. So I will go back to my blog here. So I have written this function here. So you can see that this is a code here. Let me paste it. So basically it is just doing, it is first of all checking that if the user has granted the permissions or not. So here I need to change this handle to handle, and this to also handle. So there is a constant here which signifies that the user has granted. So this needs to be granted here. So if the user has granted, this function will return true. If the user hasn't granted, then this function will return false. So depending upon this value, we will got inside this if condition, we will execute the code. So if the user has granted permission, then in that case, we will call our after this we will need to write this code here, which is const file. We need to get the reference, that is save handle. We are using the save handle dot get file. We will get to the file which the user wants to edit. After getting to the file, we can extract the contents, const contents. This will again be a await keyword. This will be file dot content. So this will get all the content which is there inside the file. Sorry, this needs to be text, guys. File dot text. So this will have got all the text here and stored inside the contents variable. And now we can concatenate to the content variable, the global variable which we have declared, like this. And also we can populate to the text area as well by targeting it by the id text area dot val. So this will be equal to contents. That's it. And now if I just show you, if I go to my application, if I click the load file button, you will see it will change to modify changes. If I click this file, you will see this dialog box will come here, pop-up window. This will ask me that this file will be able to edit this hello.txt file until you choose to close all tabs for this site. If I click save changes, now you will see that all the contents which were there inside the file is loaded inside my text area. So now what we want is that we need to save this file also. So for saving it, it is pretty simple. If I click for the next time, we need to save this file. So we can append something here to this file. Let's suppose if I want to make changes, if I click start recording, microphone is on. So if I speak something here, this will get appended to this file. So you can see that. Now we just need to save these changes onto the file. Now for this we are making a save file method here. So inside the save my file method, guys, we need to pass, I think we have passed these options or not. Let me just see. Sorry, we need to pass these options. First is the save handle, the handle to the file, and let me just see, guys. Save file and the content. What is the content to be added to the file? So we have successfully passed it, and now we can get this by handle comma content. So inside this function, guys, this will be very simple function in order to save the file without creating a new file. So inside this function, what we need to do is that we need to build a new reference to writable. So this will be equal to await handle dot create writable. Create writable. After getting the writable reference, we can write to the file by using the write method, passing the content which we have received here. After, we can just close this writable reference, writable close. So this will save the changes. And after saving it, we can have an alert box signifying to the user that file changes were saved. That's it. And this load button is also complete, guys. So if I click load file button, if I load this file, it will again ask me for the permission. If I grant this, you will see this is an empty file. You will see if I click for the second time, file changes were saved. As I let me again refresh the application, and this time I load a file which has got some data to it. So let me you can see that this is having some data. If I add something to it, click start recording. So I'm adding some data to it, this file. So you can see that I've added some data. If I click modify changes, file changes were saved. If I open this file once again, so now you can see that it hasn't created new file, but if I open this, this has appended the data to this file. So simply it has edited the file inside my local system using JavaScript, using the native file system API. And now the fourth option is remaining clear text. If I want to click this button, I need to clear out the content. So it is pretty simple. We have given an ID to this button, which is, you can see that clear ID we have given to it. So we can move to the bottom, and here we can target it by the ID. When we click onto this button, first of all, what we need to do is that we need to clear out the entries which are there inside the text area. So text area dot val to nothing. So now if I refresh, click start recording, hello friends, if I click clear text, all the text will be removed. So after this, guys, what we need to do is that we also need to change this load button text to again load file, and also we need to reset the content to nothing. Content is equal to nothing. That's it. So this was the change that we need to make. If I refresh, so basically if I click load file, if I load this file, so there is a content here. If I click clear text, this modify changes will change to load file. So you can see that. Once again, if I click this, I will be able to load some more files. So in this way, we have built a fully fleshed application, Voice Notepad, using the native file system API and web speech API. All the source code is there inside the video description. Please like the video, share the video, and please hit the subscribe button also, notification bell icon, for receiving all the notifications. And I will be seeing you in the next video.